saying is a lot of racist people give me death threats and stuff like that. Like, I'm a puppet master, calling me a bad father. It's uncalled for.
That's uncalled for. None of this is your fault. You made your explanation.
Anything I say is twisted anyway.
Alright, so boom. It is I, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. But of course, you already knew that. And this past weekend, we talked about what transpired with Roger Jackson and that unfortunate attack on Psycho's Stu. Now, a bit of updates. LAPD has began an investigation on Roger Jackson, and most likely within the next coming days, there might be a warrant for his arrest, but I guess that all comes down to if charges are pressed against him. But Rampage Jackson did go live recently and talked about the situation briefly because, of course, given that there's a potential arrest and lawsuit that could be on the horizon, it wouldn't behoove him to say too much. But he did have this to say.
You know, it's hard for me to talk about it, but, you know, I'm just keeping 100, you know. I feel bad about what happened to Psycho Stu. You know, I don't condone what my son did at all. Very, very unfortunate. If I was there, things went down, but you know what I'm saying, I wasn't there. But you know what I'm saying, I'm a father, so you know, I gotta have my son's back, but I'm gonna let justice, you know, play out, take its course. You know, ain't much I can do on that side, but be a father. You know what I'm saying?
Now, over the course of the past couple of days, social media has been in an uproar following what transpired this past weekend. The bulk share of people stand on the side of chastising Roger Jackson solely for being responsible of what happened, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter how you feel about what transpired, we can all acknowledge Roger Jackson had full autonomy of his body. It wasn't a situation in which somebody had a controller, right? Somebody was over here controlling this man like it's real steel. Like you're playing a video game and you're throwing haymakers and ground and pounds, but somebody else is the one who's controlling. Oh no. Roger Jackson was throwing all them punches himself. He made the unilateral decision to go into that ring and crash out.
It's always been my dream to fuck up a pro wrestler for real. So I get it today.
But there's a very small percentage of people who levy blame not only towards Psycho Stu, they levy blame towards the other wrestler, AJ, who put the battery in his back. And above all else, they've thrown all kinds of criticism towards Rampage Jackson. Some have said he failed as a father. Other individuals say it's his fault that Roger Jackson not only ended up turning out the way that he was, he also was the sole reason why Roger went and crashed out.
Hey,
yo,
did you get jumped by a bunch of dudes in tights?
You said what?
You was hugging on a dude in some damn tights.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Man, you shut the fuck up. I looked at your stream, nigga. You were hugging on some dude in some booty shorts.
I wasn't fucking hugging on nobody.
I saw you, nigga. I saw you hugging on your coach.
Sexual fantasy. You need to stop that shit.
No, I don't got no sexual. Not around a bunch of dudes with some damn
I'm at a fucking pro wrestling show. Exactly. Watch. My dad can't never call me a bitch. Straight up. How many subs to knock him out? That's a good question. I'm gonna fake crash out. All right, bet. You about to see how fake of a crash out I am. Now I get a chance to get in the ring and do some shit to him. Exactly. People think this shit's sweet. People think this shit's a fucking game. Straight up, bro.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Wait a minute, summer is still in full swing and there's only one way I want to consume all of my audio content, and that's with Raycon. The latest version of the Raycon Everyday Earbuds Classic now features active noise cancellation, the one thing they were missing. You pair that with 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life, your Raycons will never leave your ears. And their audio quality rivals the biggest audio companies in the world at half the price. Plus now, the Everyday Classic comes with a protective case. Check out how cool this is. Everywhere I go, my Raycons are gonna be protected. Remember, I ran a marathon with Raycons in my ears. I'm gonna run another marathon, perhaps in a suit, with Raycons in my ears. It's no wonder that the Everyday Earbud Classic has tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. So do yourself a favor right now and click the link in my description and join the millions of people who have purchased the Everyday Earbud Classic by clicking the link in my description, heading over to buyraycon.com/chiseled and get your very first pair of the Everyday Earbud Classics for 20% off. That's buyraycon.com/chiseled. Get 20% off your very next order of your next pair of Raycons. Let them know I sent you.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me and shit. Think I'm always playing and shit. Call me bitch and shit. Not no fucking bitch, bro. At the end of the day, I'ma stand up for my fucking self because I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me, bro. Real shit.
Exactly. Watch. My dad can't never call me a bitch. Straight up.
Now, having seen that, I understand why folks would believe this is ultimately what set Raja off, to go above and beyond to prove to his father and, of course, his chat as well, because we can't not overlook how many times he looked for vindication from his audience to, oh, well, chat, 50 subs, I'll knock him out. Should I suplex him? Should I slam him? Should I punch him? Should I kick? All this other stuff back and forth with the chat. This can't be overlooked. But all that being said, that doesn't warrant sitting here and lambasting Rampage by saying it's his fault, because we don't know their relationship outside of what it is that you see that is on their stream, right? This could just be the way that they interact. Furthermore, Rampage Jackson went on to say in his stream yesterday that his son hadn't been the same after his mother had unfortunately been murdered.
This don't got nothing to do with none that's going on. But all I'm going to say is that my son hasn't been the same since his mom got murdered.
Also, just to let this be stated, for Rampage, I understand you're trying to do things that will clear your mind, or whatever the case may be, and I'm sure he has a deal with Kick that requires him to stream. And again, his son is 25 years old, so it's not a situation in which he's got to drop everything and run towards his son. But the last thing I think you probably should be doing is streaming in a bowling alley, or whatever the case is, with some miscellaneous woman who doesn't seem to give a damn about your situation. Now, I don't know their relationship, but just judging by her demeanor, and I could be wrong, but judging by her demeanor, does not seem like she has any care in the world about the situation that you got going on. It seems like she's just solely focused on getting, you know, in bed with you.
Team Rampage, I got mad love for y'all. Thank y'all for being here with me in these hard times. Why you rubbing on me? You ain't getting no dick tonight. I'm sorry. I'm not in the mood, so.
Yeah, I'll make you in the mood.
No, hands off. Hands off. You're not getting no dick tonight. Doing my outro.
Sorry, continue.
You like been like, I saw what you've been doing the whole time. I'm not in the mood.
Yeah, you are.
But I had a few laughs and stuff today and coming out of my funk, but I'm still not in the mood to drop this dick off. Like I'm serious, you're not getting no dick. I'm not joking, nigga. You not getting. No, I'm not. I ain't dropping the dick off.
Drop it.
I'm not dropping it off. I'm not in the mood.
Break my back.
If you want me to press you when you're not in the mood, thank you.
I'm always in the mood.
Yeah, you are. Nympho.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that also can be levied towards him being a bad father, per se. I think there's just some sort of trying to get his mind off of what transpired and what's still ongoing. I'm sure he still communicates with his son about everything. I just don't think he should have went live in a bowling alley of all locations, and then addressing, you know, people who were saying racist things towards him, at least what he believed to be racist, and talking about the different people who have, you know, levied sort of allegations towards him. I just don't think he should have, you know, went and spoke in this demeanor per se, or in this manner, I should say. It should have just been one of those like standalone videos. You say your thoughts and then you end it right there. I ain't saying mans can't live his life, but personally, I don't think it was a good look. But that's just me. I could be wrong. That's not up to me. He got to live his life. These grown adults, all right? These grown adults.
This don't got nothing to do with nothing that's going on. But all I'm going to say is that my son hasn't been the same since his mom got murdered. It hasn't, and I know that. And I've been trying to be there for him and, you know, make him laugh and cheer him up and everything. But I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know what the fuck to do. And you know, I know my kids. He hasn't been the same with me. Like, he's just been distant from me. Like, he want to be more of a man and more of this.
Now, is this some sort of confirmation as to why Roger Jackson carries himself the way that he does? Perhaps, but is this some sort of affirmation and confirmation and vindication for him to go out there and possibly murder a damn professional wrestler in the ring because you're not sure of how to grieve the loss of your mother? No. And I don't think Rampage Jackson was trying to, you know, fish from sympathy and get sympathy from the populace. I just think this is a father who's completely conflicted about how to feel and what to feel following what transpired. Because if you look at his demeanor from the moment that he saw the videos sitting at dinner alongside Sneeko up until now, when he got stopped at the airport by TMZ, I believe it was, or somebody else who was recording, all the way to when he was streaming, you could see it on his face. He's completely despondent. He has no idea how it is that he's supposed to feel, because on one end, you see him as a father just simply trying to protect his son, because you're getting he's getting lambasted with all kinds of allegations and bad words being sent towards his son and everything of that nature. And he himself receiving death threats in his messages and all that other stuff, trying to deal with that while trying to look over and console and comfort his son going through this unfortunate time. And then on the flip side, acknowledging that what his son did was wrong, trying to showcase sympathies for Psycho Stu and what transpired. He's wrestling with the two of that. Hence why you did hear him say out of his own mouth that he doesn't endorse nor condone what his son did.
I'm not, you know, taking up for my son or anything like that. I'm just telling you guys facts, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm doing what any father would do, is being a father in hard moments like this. Sometimes you're proud of your kids and sometimes you're not proud of your kids, but at the end of the day, you're still a father.
Because this isn't just a assault battery. This is a possibility of being attempted murder. You're going away for some years, bro, if you happen to go ahead and get convicted and all this other stuff. So all that being said, he's wrestling with all of those emotions. So I can understand why he looks the way that he does. Now, we did hear something from one of the wrestlers who aided in getting Raja off of Psycho Stu, and he had this to say.
When we're in the ring and I'm breaking it up and he shoots a double leg on me, by the way, work a better double leg, you prick. And then I'm telling you to calm down. I'm not even fighting. I'm not even being hostile. Then you're trying to work and get lower, do this, change positions, and I'm over here having to swim with you, all this other shit. And then you punch me in the eye after we're breaking it up, you loser. That's why you got headbutt, and that's why I punch you, and you're lucky I was tired from the match before this. What kind of person are you? You low-life clown. You want clout, so you beat up a guy that's half unconscious. You punch a guy that's trying to break up a fight and not even trying to fight you. I wasn't even trying to hurt you. The is wrong with you?
So, do you think he wanted to continue beating up Stu?
I think he would have killed him.
If you didn't stop it, right?
I promise you he would have killed him. He would have killed me if he would have got the best of me. If he would have took my legs out from under me like he was trying to, he was going to do the same thing to me that he did to Stu. Clearly, you watched the stream when he's walking away. I'm tired of people fucking with me. I don't care how many times you've been fingered in your life, bro. I don't give a fuck. If you got a fucking problem with the fucking world and the people around you, change your fucking people around you. Change it up a little bit. Go to therapy. Get some fucking help. Don't take it out on everybody else. And then you want to train by one of the best fighters to ever fucking live, your fucking father, use his fucking clout, use his fucking knowledge, and then you want to hurt people that don't fucking train like that? You're a fucking bully. You're a bitch. Fuck you.
Everything that he had to say was warranted. And furthermore, I could already hear the people, and I already saw some of the comments saying, oh, well, he wouldn't have been talking like that if Raja was in front of his face. He's the only person who actually was able to rush the ring and get Raja off of Psycho Stu. Furthermore, he threw a headbutt that connected. That's more than anybody else who rushed the ring was able to do. I don't know who bit Raja, as he stated somebody had bit him, but you see it on camera, headbutt was thrown. TMO2 headbutt. Pseudo Wudo is shaken. He connected. Nobody else in the ring was able to go and do that. You heard in yesterday's video, or 2 days ago, when I covered the situation, you had the referee who was pretty much doing the Jason Jordan. The other wrestler who came into the ring couldn't get Raja off. This dude was the only one who was actually able to go and get any form of motion. He did even acknowledge, had Raja took him down, it's a potential situation in which Raja ends up, levying all kinds of ground and pounds on him. So I don't know what else people would want him to say, right? And he actually stood up and rode for his mans and was able to stop the assault from continuing. And furthermore, right now, Psycho Stu is recovering. In fact, he's woken up, which is great. He's surrounded by his loved ones, his wife, his fellow co-workers. Now they're there inside of the hospital alongside him as he's recovering. In fact, his GoFundMe has amassed over $160,000 with donations from as far as Mr. Beast throwing 10 G's up in there, Chris Jericho threw in 2,500, and the donations continue. At the time of the recording, I think it's probably at like 166 or something like that, and climbing. So with all that being said, there's all kinds of support that's being thrown towards Psycho Stu, which is a positive.
Hopefully one day I can meet Psycho Stu and shake his hand and have a man-to-man with him and stuff like that. But y'all need to know that I don't condone Raja's conduct. I don't condone none of this shit that happened. So we're gonna see what happened, and I'm gonna continue to be a father. And I hope Psycho Stu can forgive me, myself, as a dad, because for not understanding everything, you know what I'm saying? And let's see what happens from here.
Now for Rampage, that's the number one thing that you should do. Immediately reach out. Obviously, there's a situation in which lawyers can mess around and get involved, but whether it's his wife, co-workers, or him himself, now that he's awoken and he's stabilized for all intents and purposes inside the hospital, you've got to go and reach out. If that means you got to book a flight and go to the hospital to go and visit him, if that means you got to go to Knox Wrestling and go and meet with the promotion so you can go and talk to somebody, you need to make sure that he understands how apologetic that you happen to be. Not to say that that's going to free your son from any form of litigation or anything of that nature, but you have got to make sure that you can reach out and talk to him and let him know how apologetic you are to what happened, because that's the first thing that you can do. Not to make sure that the populace believes that you're actually sorry for what transpired, because at the end of the day, it wasn't Rampage Jackson who was throwing all kinds of punches. That was his son. You're not responsible for what a 25-year-old grown man is doing. However, you can try to extend an olive branch, not to try to get your son off and absolve him from any sort of accountability or responsibility, right? But at least to let them know just how sorry you happen to be. Because if you watch between the two streams of when the incident had first happened and then the abrupt ending of Rampage's stream, all the way up until this previous stream that you had him go live and do, you can see how despondent that he just so happened to be and how truly sorry he appears to be on his face. Now, Raja, that's a whole different situation. He's gonna have to figure out what the fuck is gonna end up happening with him. Like I said prior, you're gonna need to go and lawyer up because you know it's coming. right? You can try to reach out as much as you possibly can, and you should reach out as well, Raja. You should reach out and attempt to go and apologize and make sure that sumbitch is genuine as well, rather than, oh, he's flatlining, my bad. That ain't gonna cut it, right? But all that being said, if that means you gotta throw some into the collection plate to aid with medical bills, if that means you've got to pull up to the hospital, which I probably don't think Raja should do, Rampage perhaps could mess around and get away with it because he, again, wasn't the one who was levying all kinds of punches. But there needs to be communication from the Jackson camp over to Psycho Stu's camp to express some form of apologies for what transpired. It can't just be, I'm gonna talk through the second stream. You gotta reach out to somebody. And even if they don't meet that apology the way that you would like them to, that's warranted as well, because they don't got to accept your apology. Just because you throw out an apology don't mean it needs to get accepted. But there needs to be an apology on that side, regardless. So hopefully they'd be able to move forward from this point. But like I said prior, there's no scenario in which Raja does not, ultimately end up getting cooked. But for Rampage's sake, I would hope that folks would stop sending death threats towards him and levying bad parenting allegations towards him, or whatever the case just so happened to be, solely based off of what it was that transpired. Because, of course, judging by all the information of him talking about saving money for bail for his son unfortunately having his mother murdered and all this other stuff, I don't think all of that is a reflection of Rampage's parenting, because at the end of the day, we don't know what transpired behind closed doors. This could just be a situation where your son happened to just be a crash out or a ticking time bomb, and then this was just something that went and set him off. Of course, you could see the conversation and think that could have been something that Rampage is guilty of, and I think that's warranted as well. But the totality of that of a father then being levied towards him, I don't know, because it just seems like he's wrestling with the possibility of his son ultimately having to go away, and then also trying to deal with the repercussions of what happens, because his son's not only a representation of himself, his son's also a representation of him as well. Representation, I should say, of him as well. So this is also a knock on his image as well. So he's trying to process all of that. And I would hope that he's able to go and figure it out. But I say all that to say, you got to reach out to the Psycho Stu camp immediately. Immediately. And hopefully they can find a way to go and rectify this sort of situation. But ultimately for Raja, I think he's cooked one way or another. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about Rampage Jackson's response, because I don't think you're going to hear something else after this, because of course his lawyers probably advised him to go radio silent as well. And then I wouldn't be surprised if, for Raja's case, he probably is not going to mess around and go live on any platform, because he's been banned on Kick as of, I guess, the following day after the whole incident transpired. This reminds me heavily of like mass transit in ECW all them years ago. I'm curious if there were waivers that were signed prior, if there was any form of actual communication of what was supposed to go down in the ring. I guess this is something that's ultimately going to end up getting covered in litigation when, the lawsuit does come, because I would be shocked if it doesn't. And if it does not come, Rampage and Raja had better, contribute heavily to this promotion and Psycho Stu's pockets. But that's all speculation. We'll see where things come. So y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think of Rampage's response. And do you think this is ultimately, confirmation that he's a bad father? How do you think he should go about it? And if you found yourself in his shoes, not Raja's shoes, not Psycho Stu's shoes, if you were in Rampage Jackson's shoes, ladies, if this was your son, fellas, if this was your son, what do you do in this situation? Y'all let me know in the comment section below. Hey, I appreciate you watching the entire video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button on the way out if you haven't already. And on top of that, hit that notification bell as well. For whatever reason, YouTube's only showing my videos to 20% of my subscribers. So if you have already turned on the notification bell, turn it off, turn it back on. If you never turn it on, turn it on. I appreciate you.